Alright guys, I am back. It is time to move on to Process of Elimination for the remainder of stream, on this wonderful Sunday night. There was a lot of tea being spilled in this game last night, namely that Ideal Detective is actually the MC, and we are reportedly supposed to be dead, and Saika is claiming to be the second Ideal Detective, so it's pretty strange. We're getting to the bottom of exactly what it all means. We don't have enough information to really know yet. Renegade is lurking about. Workaholic is like in and out of talking to us. I'm not really sure who is going to die this chapter. I feel like it could be Posh. It could be Posh, Techie, or Workaholic. I don't think any of the others will die yet. But, yeah. They have changed settings to this hotel lobby-like area that has several research labs attached to it. Oh, and the other thing of interest is that Holmes is currently missing in action, and she's not answering to the MC when he calls to her, so we don't know where she's at. Giving Posh to the character development before offing her. I kind of feel like that might be what's happening. If we are going with 2 chapters left theory, then Renegade will die. You think? I honestly don't really know what the game is doing with Renegade as like a plot device. If anything, I do kind of expect Workaholic. Well, if Workaholic died, there'd be no question that Renegade did it. So if you look at it from that perspective, there's not like a mystery to solve if that happens. And like vice versa, right? If Renegade winds up dead, there's no doubt that Workaholic would have been the one to do it. He's just Chaos Factor. But they said that he's a member of the, like, Dayless Knight or whatever, which is the people associated with the Quartering Duke. So that, like, confirms he's a bad guy. MC change. I'm very, ambivalent about, Incompetent. The Remnants of Despair got it. We instantly spring into action, not even waiting for Renegade to close out his announcement. Oh, that's right! Renegade said... Wait. So Renegade said... He made an announcement, but I don't remember what the announcement was, and my log isn't letting me scroll. What use is this? I guess it doesn't go between scenes, that's fine. But even as we move, his banter continues. Hey now, can't you wait patiently for others to finish? Gosh, you're a troublesome bunch. Mischievous brats will get their due punishment. You best be mindful of that on your way over. Oh, do you guys remember we left 2 people back at the elevator, right? I think it was Bookie and Gourmet, and the rest of them came with us. Now that you've got a choice, haven't from the start. We're right outside the control room. But not even a single trap. We've safely arrived at the control room. The trip here may have been quick and painless, but that only serves to put me more on edge. Was it just a bluff? Even so, such little time has passed since Renegade's message that there must still be something behind those doors. Maybe a dead workaholic? How odd. He talked it up so much, just to leave us with nothing. Let me check it out first. I should be able to identify any traps he set. Be careful, Doleful. Well, come back immediately if you sense any danger, okay? There's no hope of escape, Renegade. My Baritsu will render you into a bloody pulp. Have at you! With that, Doleful enters the control room. But a moment later, he comes right back out with an astonished look on his face. What's up, Doleful? There was no sign of Renegade, but I found this in front of the mic. Doleful holds out a brown teddy bear. It's a bomb! It seems like an ordinary stuffed animal at a glance, but upon closer inspection, it holds some sort of device in its paw. My heavens, what an adorable little teddy! That device it's holding, is that a transceiver? Oh, you're right. It's still powered on, even. Let me see. I suspect Renegade Detective may have used this to spoof his location somehow. I'll run an analysis to try and pinpoint his current whereabouts. Resourceful as ever, little tech. A dreadfully gleeful voice sounds out from the other end of the transceiver. It's none other than Renegade Detective, of course. Sorry for the trouble, folks. While I may not look it, I'm painfully shy, so I have this fuzzy little rascal come in my stead. Give a big hello to Rennie the Teddy. Play nice now, won't you, darlings? Just tell us what you want, Renegade Detective. You'll trade us the elevator key if we do what you ask of us, right? Thanks for getting straight to business. I've only one request. I want to speak with you, mano a mano, incompetent. Come to the archives. Alone. Out of the question. We refuse your terms. Posh. With ferociously wild eyes, Posh nabs the teddy transceiver from Doleful's hands and shouts angrily into it. Renegade Detective, I don't know what's going through that skull of yours, but incompetent is our dear companion. You truly believe we'd send him off to his doom by meeting a criminal like you? We'll track you down and take the key, rest assured. I'll be looking forward to it. Renegade's harsh, staticky laughter echoes through the hallway. At that very moment, my vision flickers. The denouement has been triggered. Before I go, let me tell you something. I took the trouble of coming out here because I was hoping to rid myself of this damn collar. Sadly, it was a bust, but I did find some spares and how to operate them. I just couldn't pass up the opportunity, so Rennie got a little present too. I said it was a bomb, literally before anything got stated. As Doleful shrieks, the bear detonates in Posh's hands, and that's the vision I'm shown. There's still time to act. I lurch forward, snatch the teddy from Posh's grip, and immediately launch it as far as I can. Posh, take cover! What? The bear detonates mere seconds after it leaves my hands. The scorching shock of the explosion flings us into a heap on the ground. I cough at the pungent scent of gunpowder, the hall is thick with smoke, and there's a sharp pain where shrapnel has pierced my arm. Renegade Detective! Despite my injured arm, I managed to haul myself to my feet. I can hardly believe it. When a moment later and Posh... Even a moment later and Posh would have died. I doubt the rest of us would have escaped unscathed either. Nano would have been in shambles. It's not looking good for Nano, although I do think Bookie will survive the game. It's clear Renegade Detective truly intends to kill us. Is everyone alright? Any injuries? I'm okay, and I think Doleful hit his head. I too am alive and kicking. Now where is that despicable coward hiding? Right behind you. Voice calls out from our rear. As I turn to face its owner, a small metallic glint catches my attention. Hey, Nano. Nano, we just had a bomb teddy bear. Does that remind you of anything? Everyone, run! Renegade brandishes his knife and swings it sideways in our direction. Crap, I won't be able to avoid it. Steer clear, incompetent! The next thing I know, Posh shoves me aside, sending... Oh, tumbling back to the ground. Blood soon trickles from her arm as she takes the attack in my place. Posh! My heart leaps out of my chest. As the event unfolds, however, a familiar voice rings through my head. I've seen this before, but something's off. Saika isn't bleeding. Yeah, that is interesting. Suddenly, I'm the one who died. My mind snaps back to reality. I inhale sharply, stunned, in shock by the view I met with. Right in front of me, Renegade has an arm wrapped around Posh's neck, his knife pressed against her cheek. Hey, Prometheus, I will hydrate, thank you. Posh shielding me, and now vivid red blood is seeping from her wounded arm. The cut doesn't look deep, but that much blood loss is definitely cause for concern. We've got to treat her right away. Renegade, what the hell are you thinking? The lab next door, the key to manipulating others is to provide a clear-cut objective. I figured you'd skip over the other rooms and head straight here after my broadcast. It was obvious. It's adorable how predictable you are. Lucky for me, I won't need to bother with negotiations or any of that nonsense now. So incompetent. Assuming you don't want Posh's head to get sawed off, you're coming with me. Renegade addresses me coldly. I look him over again and again and can't find a single opening. He traces the curve of Posh's neck with the point of his blade. Just the sight is enough to drain the color from my face. Fine, I'll do whatever you say. Just let Posh... You mustn't, incompetent. Posh quickly cuts me off. You and Teki take Doleful to the elevator and escape from the facility. But... None of your butt-butting. This is a direct order from your superior. You must obey. Her conviction makes it difficult to view her as a hostage. Something that seemingly tickles Renegade as he cackles loudly. Posh, you really are a plucky one. But haven't you forgotten something? Even if they ditch you, they'll still need the elevator key. What, the one lying on the floor there? Hmm? Could this be? I reach down to inspect the key resting near my feet. It's definitely the same one I saw in the dungeon. But when did it get here? Oh, Renegade Detective, you really ought to be less inattentive with valuables on your person. I was able to pilfer it in the blink of an eye. Now go, incompetent, take the key and decamp. Should you manage to seal both the lift and the heliport, this cad will have no means of escape. Except he's fast as fuck and will probably kill you and then kill us. I have no doubt that this will bring us another step closer to apprehending the quartering Duke. And here I thought you were easy prey. Now I'm the one who's cornered. Still, you sure you're alright with this? If they all turn tail and run, you'll be left alone with me. Aren't you afraid of dying? Yeah, what he said. How could we just abandon you here like that, Posh? Posh smiles almost serenely. Of course I'm frightened. No one wants to die. But some things are even more terrifying than death. The casualties born of a desperate fight for survival, for one. I am a descendant of the proud Pinkerton lineage. Should offering my life save others, then I have no such reservations. Now hurry, go! Posh. I recall a discussion I had with Workaholic regarding the plank of Carnitas. Sacrificing another to save oneself. Is that the right choice? No one can really say. Seeing Posh so prepared to give her life for ours, I'm suddenly struck by a realization. So maybe I'm just not getting the whole picture here, but couldn't he just quickly kill her with a knife and then pursue us with his, like, lightning fast speed and stop us? She's literally being held at knife point right now. Right, but what I'm saying is, if the others decide to pick up the key and run, all he has to do is kill Posh and then run in front of them. Renegade Detective, I won't let you get away with this. Not in a million years. Like he aims his pistol-shaped mech at Renegade Detective. Freeze! Move another inch and I'll shoot. Oh-ho! Made yourself another friend there, eh? Looks kinda like a stun gun. How fun is that? You've outdone yourself again, kid. Apparently unfazed, Renegade begins moving with his hostage in tow. Man, does this guy even know how to feel fear? I said I'll shoot, why are you still moving? You've grown a lot these past few days, but you don't have the guts to pull the trigger yet. Say you miss and hit Posh, worst case she gets fried. You only just lost armor, now ain't your time to shine, kid. Come back once you've gotten some more experience, yeah? Don't underestimate me! Becky moves in closer, preparing to shoot. The muzzle of the bar trembles in his hands, his aim uncertain. Despite having him at gunpoint, Teki seems to be losing the upper hand of Renegade's intimidation. That man really is a monster. As much as I hate to leave you hanging, it's time we part ways for now. Incompetent, come to the archives in 1 hour and bring the key with you. Otherwise, Posh's public quartering will have to kick off early. And you know full well by now that I don't go making empty threats, right? I don't need the denouement to see the grave sincerity in his eyes. In 1 hour, he'll end Posh's life, precisely as he stated. Though I haven't known him long, I'm already well acquainted with this man's brand of ability. It's okay, MC's gonna try to save him. I'll be there, I promise, so don't you dare lay a single finger on Posh. You witnessed Cheryl! Just forget about... Oh, now that's what I wanted to hear. Alrighty then, I'll be waiting for you at the final stage. Wait! Becky attempts to keep his stun gun sights on the fleeing Renegade Detective, but before he can even pull the trigger, Renegade has already disappeared down the hall, dragging Posh along with him. Where's Posh? Where'd she go? Dolful comes to, anxiously asking about Posh as he scans the vicinity. Neither Teki nor myself can muster a reply. All I can do is stand there, disgusted by my helplessness. Returning to the lobby, we recount the events of O2, Gourmet, and Bookworm, who had been keeping watch. You're really going alone, incompetent? Renegade's the type to stick to his word. As long as I keep my side of the bargain, Posh should be okay. Going along with his demands is the only way we can save her. But what will you do afterward? I don't know what Renegade has in store for you, but I do know it's dangerous. Even if you manage to save Posh, you dying would make it all for nothing. Do you even have a plan for how you'll face him? I do, so long as he truly intends to kill me, but I'll be okay, I promise. I'll make it back in one piece. So here's what we do. We take the stun gun and we dial 1-800-WORKAHOLIC on our D-pad, and we confront Renegade, right? That seems like a given, maybe? Here, incompetent, take him with you. Like he hands me the pistol-like device he had been holding. This is my stun gun friend, Shakiwaki. He's modeled after the white SPX, so when you pull the trigger, he'll eject electrified spikes. His range is only about 2 meters, but any contact with the body should be enough to incapacitate the target. Thanks, Techie. You really are a whiz if you can make something as handy as this. Yeah, but I couldn't pull the trigger. I even had the perfect shot, and I still failed to save yet another friend of mine. He saw right through me. I'm so ashamed of myself. If I'd been stronger, if I just kept a level head, I could have saved her. Only humans fret over harming others. Once you lost that compassion, you become no more than a beast, said the girl, quoting Mystic Detective. The fear of death, of hurting others, I don't consider that weakness. Rather, the fact that you can feel that way is proof of your humanity. Bookworm! Bookworm speaks in an uncharacteristically straightforward manner as she smiles at Techie. Techie Detective, since arriving on this island, I believe you've truly matured as a person. Not that I have much room to speak on that. I'm with her. You aren't weak, Techie. Not one bit. You're able to laugh with everyone, to shed tears on behalf of others. Those things are way more important than having the will to harm people. Guys, thank you. Please go do what you can to save Posh. Hiding his face, Techie sheds silent tears. Renegade Detective must have really gotten to him. Undoubtedly, more bitter, challenging obstacles still await him in the future. But I know he'll overcome it all because Techie already has the strength to admit his vulnerability and share his honest feelings. Incompetent. Go vanquish that brute of a detective. After all, I believe it's precisely that soft heart of yours which makes you so formidable. Yeah, you can count on it. I'll get him good, for Techie's sake and everyone else's. The appointed time has arrived. I ask the others to wait in the lobby and then head alone to the archives, our designated meeting spot. As I make my way there, however... Fancy that. You've survived, have you? Where the fuck have you been? Holmes? For the first time in about a day, Holmes appears before... How are you gone so long? Sorry. I'm aware it's a bit odd for residual memories to feel such, but I quite exhausted myself earlier. I'll be sure to share the details with you later on. But currently, our priority is recovering the captured Posh from Renegade Detective, correct? How does she know that? Yeah, I know I can't win against him alone. So please, lend me your strength, Holmes. Naturally. No matter how others may betray, vilify, despise, or deny you, I alone shall affirm all that you are. Once Renegade has been dealt with, I'll explain everything I know. Now, let us go and sever the ties which bind us to him. Watto. Once and for all. Right. Creepy. Together, Holmes and I enter the archives. Renegade rises from his chair, clearly sick of waiting. He points his knife at me. The corner of his mouth works upward into a smile. I knew you'd come, Incompetent. You're the exact type of detective I clocked you for. The knife's point glints in the light. My heart leaps at the sight of its icy shine, pale like moonbeams. It's impossible to remove myself from the life or death reality of the situation. Why did you come? I vehemently insisted you escape. The anxiety in Pasha's voice is palpable. Her right hand seems to be handcuffed to a pipe on the wall. Judging by the grafting sound of steel. I realized something when you protected me, Posh. If someone were drowning beside me, I'd offer them the plank I was clinging to without thinking twice. That's the kind of great detective I strive to be. Incompetent? Renegade Detective, I brought you the key like you asked. Now let Posh go. Oh, fine. Alright, I've got the key to her handcuffs right here, see? As he speaks, Renegade demonstrates this by locking and unlocking Posh's handcuffs. There's no doubt the key is real. I'll put it on the desk next to me. You do the same. You want to draw me away from the exit before we do the trade. I'm entitled to that privilege, don't you think? I mean, your team has the elevator surrounded, which I'd consider a pretty big disadvantage. Could you spare me just a tiny lick of hope? Here's the key. Let's start our exchange. Each of us will take one step at a time. Nice! It's wise to stay on guard. Look at you growing up and learning so fast. We'll do it your way then. Go ahead. You start. Okay. 1, 2. As I asked of him, he closes the distance between us one step at a time, the same way I do. One step, another. My heart pounds faster and faster as we draw closer, the sweat beading on my skin. I'm not an idiot. I know he'll attack once I'm in range. He'll likely come at me with lethal force. I will my legs not to shake, forcing myself to keep one foot in front of the other. But then my vision suddenly flickers. Knife shoots out, Renegade Detective Tan like a rocket. It's my forehead with so much force that my entire head feels like it's flying off. My consciousness ebbs faster than I can single. Once I return to reality, I jerk my body to the side, quickly ducking my head so that the blade only nearly grazes the tip of my nose. That was close. I didn't expect the knife to fire at me like that. Without the denouement, there's no question I'd be dead right now. Bravo! Just as I predicted. Suddenly, Renegade is right beside me. He sticks his tongue out playfully. You dodged before the blade even came at you, but I didn't see any indication that you noticed this knife's little gimmick. Bit odd, don't you think? You're weirdly perceptive every so often. What, you get visions or something? I wonder, are you able to see the future too? The way ideal detective could. Yeah, right, as if. I make for the key to Posh's cuffs quickly and snatch it up. Renegade Detective, on the other hand, saunters over at his leisure, placing a hand on the elevator key. Our exchange is complete. Why did we not shoot him with the stun gun? But the others are still guarding the front of the elevator. He can't get away that easily. I've got to free Posh and get us back to the lobby ASAP. Don't come any closer! Get away from me! No! Away from this room entirely! What do you mean, Posh? Posh answers only with a harried expression. What's going on? Oh, right, I forgot to say. Yeah. I lined the room with bombs! I put a collar on her wrist, just like mine. Careful or it'll go boom, so try not to set it off. Looking closely, I can see something wrapped around Posh's wrist that resembles the device on Renegade's neck. No way, is he kidding me right now? I'm not bluffing. That explosion I caused before should make that clear enough, wouldn't you say? If the conditions are met, Posh's soft, supple limbs will go flying in every direction. Stop it! How could you do something so awful? Was Workaholic right? Is this all revenge for what they did to you as Invincible Detective? Revenge? Oh please. You really think I'd kill people for a pedestrian move like that? Motive even? Renegade's eyes widen in surprise at my words. And tell me why. I thought you were unreadable, unrestrained, indiscriminate, and dangerous. But what motive could you have other than revenge? The DA's predecessor, the secret police, you want revenge on them. I understand that, but stop dragging innocent bystanders into this. That's enough. Wild guessing doesn't suit you one bit. Cheap thrills like vengeance don't do a thing for me personally. For me, it's all about taking on the precious burden of life. Everything else is secondary. Even the organization that ruined my own life. Liar. You targeted Workaholic and made him suffer all so you could get back at him, didn't you? Telling you it's not about revenge, okay? I just wanted to remind him of the weight of the lives he crushed and turned his gaze from. Then Workaholic Detective reverted oh so wonderfully to his old diabolical self. And now it's your turn, incompetent. If you want me to remove Posh's collar, you'll have to make me yield. It's the only way you can save her. I'll resist, of course, with lethal force. Want to subdue me? Then fight like mad as if your life depends on it. Maybe use that hidden ability, too. Hidden ability? Has Renegade Detective realized that I am able to use denouement? That can't be. I mean, it took me a long time to start accepting the idea, and it's my ability. As if anyone would be so quick to believe something this far-fetched. You must escape this instant. This is a direct order from your chief. Posh shouts from behind me. From the moment I became a detective, I've been prepared to give my life. You are gravely mistaken if you think I'll dance to your palm, renegade. Her expression shows no trace of sorrow or fear, even given her circumstances. Her strength of character is incredible. Like music to my ears, I can always count on you to be so determined, Posh. Why? It's giving me the shivers. But could incompetent here truly abandon you? Leaving a friend to her fate and live on in her name? Or risk your life in order to save that of another? A plank of Carnita's situation if I ever saw one. So, you just said you give up your plank, I wonder, will you be able to save Posh with that spirit of martyrdom, even in the face of death? Renegade detective tries to provoke me. Defiantly, I glare back into his red, arrogant eyes. Don't twist my words. I just said I would offer my plank, not that I'd sacrifice myself. I don't want to survive at someone else's expense, but that doesn't mean I want to die either. Since I saw Saika killed right before me while I survived, that's why I won't hesitate anymore. No matter who lives, the guilt follows them forever. Having to choose one person out of two to sacrifice is an undeniable tragedy. One I refuse to accept. People can say I'm stupid or overly idealistic, or that my head's in the clouds. Let them. I'll find a way to save us both and reverse this tragedy. That's what I believe an ideal detective must do. Yes, very nice. How wonderfully like you to be so very idealized. Renegade pokes his tongue out at me again, then draws his knife from his pocket. Its blade is a crescent flecked by bits of bright red. Renegade laps the blade like a lollipop, the droplets vanishing beneath his tongue. The taste of defilement. There's nothing quite as sweet. No, incompetent, you mustn't try to fight him! Incompetent! Ignoring her pleas, I unlock the handcuffs binding her. Stay back, Posh. It isn't safe. I promise I'll protect you. Competent? Grasping the handcuffs, I turn to face Renegade. Getting a hold of these sure was a lucky break. Now I can demonstrate what my mentor taught me. Oh, wait! Wasn't this written in our card that, like, we're very skilled at handcuffing? You may or may not be missing some context, Chief. Basically, we're having a face-off. We're having a face-off with this crazy guy. So the guy in the turtleneck has been super evil acting since the beginning of the game. And then he just ended up being a bad guy. It is fairly disappointing writing. Yeah, I'm definitely having gripes with some things in this game, but we will talk about that, in the LPT VN RPG review. This scene also is kind of cringe, because Renegade should be able to basically one-on-one any of the remaining detectives. Like, he should be able to just basically kill everybody that's there, except maybe Gourmet. And this just all seems very silly. Ah, but your hands are trembling. I'll bet you don't have much fighting experience. No point in hiding it, you're right. Honest to God, I'm terrified. I bite my arm with all my might, using the pain to forcibly stop it from shaking. But I won't run away. That's a really weird thing to do. I'll use every ounce of my strength to make you release Posh's collar. Oh, yes, yes, yes! You're really something. Come on, then. Let's have some fun. My chest feels like it's about to burst. A cold sweat drips freely down my skin. If I lose focus, my legs will start wobbling. It's alright, I'm with you. Holmes moves closer to my side. Come, it's time to fight back. Let us reverse this tragedy together, you and I. My first battle for life and death begins. Using the handcuffs, I block count. What? Using the handcuffs, I block the knife jabs? My eyes manage to follow, but it takes everything I have to avoid them. The way each blow is aimed directly at my vitals sends chills down my spine. Fail to dodge even one and it's all over for me. It is his special weapon. Yes, it said that in our profile. Doing better than I expected. Seems you had quite the mentor. But you can't defend forever. I'll break through eventually, or could it be you've only learned to defend? Come on, don't forget about your legs! Renegade Detective chats casually as he slashes about, and here I am at my absolute limit. Just what is this guy? I'm already well aware, but this man truly has no qualms about killing. Despite his constant insistence that life holds precious value, there is one person I don't think... This is one person I don't think I'll ever see eye to eye with. Just one hit. I just need to get one hit in. I need to find an opening somewhere. He could have slipped Posh the gun thing. Oh, that might actually come into play. Wide open. Renegade slashes my right abdomen, and fresh blood sprays into my view. This is bad. I feel my consciousness slipping. That was the denouement. Holmes' voice recenters me. That was close. The vision was so lifelike, it nearly overwhelmed my senses. Right now, I can still protect my right abdomen. Why? What? I just managed to block his attack. Without the denouement, it would have killed me. I'm glad I was able to act on it quickly enough. Nice moves there. Shall we dance another? No time to relax. Here comes the next strike. See it again, a future where my throat is cut clean open. Yes, act on the vision. Go, Watto. This does not count as gameplay. Hey, Rosen, I'm gonna kick your shins. Point of view, Rosen. I should protect my what? Keeping with my vision. Hey, Bubble Wand. I parry Renegade's attack with the cuffs. Nice, that was my easiest block so far. There's no mistaking it. The denouement kicking in now is no coincidence. Your form's improved all of a sudden. What's up with that? Renegade slashes again mid-sentence. What is it? What's coming next? Don't panic, Watto. Wait for the denouement to activate. You must sense your own imminent demise before a premonition will be shown. Rest assured, if his strike is truly lethal, it will activate. I know Holmes speaks the truth. I soon see a vision of the knife's blade plunging straight into my chest horizontally. Thrust at that angle could be quite dreadful indeed. The knife would slip between your ribs and pierce your heart. Gotta dodge, but how? Isn't necessary. A head-on assault simply needs to have its trajectory shifted. Use the cuffs to deflect the blade. Huh? Yeah, I don't get why we didn't contact Workaholic. Okay, are we gonna deflect it towards the kidney? Is that what this means? I don't think I chose correctly. I think it wants you to choose my heart. Huh? Oh, okay. I don't stop the knife, but allow the tip of its blade to slip through the cuffs, redirecting it. Renegade's arm is outstretched, leaving him defenseless. He leaps towards me. Now's your golden opportunity. Cuff him. As Holmes says this, I twist the handcuffs chain around his wrist and then throw all my weight into my hips and jerk sharply. What are we cuffing it to? I swing my arms at full strength like a hammer thrower, leaving Renegade off balance as he's caught in the shackles. Take us back to the downtown case at where the Amaterasu Express. This is... Then I slam his body into a nearby table. He rolls to the floor among the broken table legs. While keeping my eyes trained on him, I steady my ragged breaths. Blood drips from my nose, with my vision swimming and my head pounding. I barely can stop from crying out in pain. You're definitely not well. You've witnessed your own death so many times in a short period. It's no wonder the side effects are so severe. Are you able to move? Yeah, I'll manage. Let's tie up Renegade before he comes to. Use Techi's Shakiwaki. How does she know about all these things if she wasn't there? Following Holmes' suggestion, I begin to take the stun gun out of my pocket, but then... Now I see you can only dodge lethal attacks. The voice coming from the ground chills me to the bone. Crap, thinking fast, I try to jump back, but it's one moment too late. Renegade's knife penetrates my right thigh. Yep, seems you couldn't dodge that one. I back away quickly to inspect my wounded leg. I'm still able to move it, but it hasn't gone numb. But even so, the situation's dire. I'm not sure what he's handcuffed to. He doesn't have two hands. Now that was a close one. You've got a lot more fight in you than I realized. Renegade climbs to his feet unsteadily. His eyes are unfocused, fixed on empty space instead of me. He'd already lost an arm before my surprise attack hit him hard. It's clear he's at his limit. Come on, let up already. Lose any more blood and you're gonna die for real. True, after losing my arm, that floaty kind of feeling's only gotten worse. Almost like it's telling me it's time, you know? Then take it as a sign and quit already. Why are you so obsessed with me? Can't help it. You know how long I've waited for this moment to figure out ideal detective's abilities? After my graceless defeat and capture at Holmes' hand, I've been tingling ever since. Oh, how long I've waited this. The climax. I found the final piece of a lifelong puzzle, and you think I won't put it in place? Of course I will. More. Let me savor every last bit. Renegade grins madly, not bothering to wipe the blood dripping from his mouth. The man before me terrifies me to the core. How does someone become so twisted? The extent of his depravity is so extreme, I can't help but wonder what brought him to this point. Posh. Bookie, get the book! Oh no, it appears Renegade has figured out how the denouement functions. But how? He shouldn't even know I can use this ability. No, he... Don't you know I have you figured out? You can see the future with those eyes of yours, can't you? His words leave me tongue-tied. For a moment, I think he may be up to his usual tricks, but I don't get the sense that he's joking. Don't tell me he actually... wasn't that difficult. I mean, there aren't many superhumans around like Ideal Detective. Her abilities are famous, a popular topic at that. Wary of her power, the Dayless Knight, the group I belong to, sought to remove her from the equation. Of course, the exact workings of that ability were unknown, and I'm the only one who noticed she found a successor. They're famous? Is all that true? It is. That said, my ability was top secret, so few are cognizant of the details, even within the DA. Indeed, it's quite likely the Dayless Knight was after my life. Goodness, what a pain they are. What really troubles me, however, is the fact that he's discovered how the denouement is triggered. I've been working all these years trying to unravel the mystery of Ideal's power. When she died, I thought that was that. I was devastated. But like a messiah, you appeared before me. Your expression is just like hers, incompetent, burning with justice. It's been a joy to see it. I realized at once that you took up her mantle and hold the same powers, that you're my new Holmes, come to thrill me just the same. Why couldn't I best her? How could she make such incredible leaps of logic? How could she always evade me? There's only one explanation. Holmes had the power to see her fate and foretell her own demise. Finally, I finally solved it, my dear Holmes. Renegade cackles maniacally. I'm unable to shake the feeling that my ability has been revealed to the worst possible person. Yet, again, I can only consider what a monster this individual truly is. Incompetent, you mustn't buy into his nonsense. Do you hear me? That man is deranged. Well, bad news for you. Sadly, you won't be able to read the future anymore. Ignoring Posh's yells, Renegade speaks to me. I know all about your power. If you can sense death, a fatal wound won't cut it. So instead, why don't I slice you up until you're clinging to life? Hey, Yummy Ellie. Time to get excited, because I'm about to carve you within an inch of your life. Renegade readies his knife and approaches me with a wicked grin. The next moment, I feel my right arm get sliced open. Now this is fun. It's true, solving a mystery feels oh so good. Different from the pleasure of taking a life. That's why I'm hooked on detective work. He comes closer, waving the knife to and fro. This is bad. I still haven't thought of a way to counter him. Shoot him! My arm is gashed open, next to my leg, and then my shoulder. Unable to stand, I crumple to my knees. It hurts. My wounds are burning as if they're on fire. I can't keep my head straight through the intense searing pain. My consciousness begins to slip and my vision grows cloudy. I can't find the strength to stand. Incompetent, pick yourself up! You can still get away! Watu, steal yourself and focus. Done so soon? Guess it's Pasha's turn to play then. Their voices sound distant now. I'm soaked in hot sweat. It mingles with my blood, making my whole body feel like a thick puddle of liquid. But this sensation is familiar. That's right. How could I have forgotten for so long? It hurts. I'm burning up. It's horrific. It's miserable. It's cold. It's frustrating. I'm angry, enraged, yelling, crying, praying, hoping, begging, envious. But above all, I can't forgive my helplessness. I've been in this exact situation in the past. Yeah. Finally remember. I really have felt this all before. I'm walking through the labyrinth with Saika. This is already my third time. I've gotten pretty used to it, so our progress is much faster than before. But I sense something different than usual, that something's not quite right. I scan our surroundings carefully until I notice the air right in front of us gently like the air around a lit burner. Saika, hide, there's something here. Really? But I don't see anything. You're sipping on a sundae? Oh, me too, Jordan. Cheers. Jordan, I'm beating Ayudin on Tuesday. I mean, I can't either, but I can feel it. If we keep going, we'll die. That's when it started. From that moment on, I occasionally see glimpses of future tragedies that could occur. No matter what trap I encounter in the maze, I always manage to slip through it. Oh! Okay, wait. Wait. So, all of his dreams were him having a denouement. Are we gonna start Cold Steel 3 if we beat it early? I'm gonna say no, Rosen, because I will be gone for a week. So I don't want to start Cold Steel 3 and then be gone for a week. I'll just start it when I come back. So, okay, wait, just to be clear. His dream that he's been having is of a denouement from when he was a child of Saika dying. Interesting. She never died. But neither did we, which is the confusing part. Maybe they double denoumented each other and I don't know. We still don't know why that one file says that, Watto is dead, when clearly we're not. Oh yes, I was lurking on your Ayudin activities trying to make Perry a tank. Yeah, we have a 450 HP Periel now. So she's like, she exists. Maybe that's not his real name. Oh, interesting. Okay, two theories. Either A, our name is not Watto Hojo and we've been gaslit our entire life. B, we are invincible detective and can't be killed. But we've died by choosing the wrong answer, so maybe that's wrong. Maybe we're invincible detective and we're able to, like, heal from near-death experience. I don't know. I'm grasping at straws here. I'm pretty sure we are invincible detective. I don't fucking know. No matter what trap I encounter in the maze, I always manage to slip through. Since I also go out of my way to help the other subjects, those others subjected to the experiments, they've given me the ridiculous nickname Ideal Detective. Before I even realize it, I'm consistently leading and directing the other survivors. Until that fateful day arrives. The day I witnessed Saika's death. If we take on the maze again, Saika will die. I can only see how these tragedies play out. I don't know how to stop these visions from becoming reality. I think and think and think some more, till I finally make up my mind. Saika, let's escape from here together. Huh? But how? There's cameras watching us the whole time we're in the maze. Saika's worry shows in her voice. I've gotta be the hero she sees me as. Yes, I've gotta be a great detective, like the legendary Sherlock Holmes. Come on. It's elementary, my dear Saika. Why is he talking like that? I imitate our beloved Sherlock, hoping to inspire her trust. Thank you for answering me, game. If they're watching us with cameras, that means there must be secret passages for the staff to use when something goes wrong. I already found some clues hinting at this, so if we can find an opening to access one of those paths, we should be able to escape. Wow, you really are amazing, Watto! Saika beams happily. That's a relief. It seems that helps to put her mind at ease a bit. Good, this is the only way we're going to pull this off. In all honesty, I'm terrified. Even if we manage to find a passage, who knows what we might run into. Still, this is my only hope of saving her. Okay, Saika, leave it to me, the ideal detective. No matter what happens, I'll reverse this tragedy. I promise you that. Yeah! And so the time came to put our plan into action. Just as we hoped, we find a hidden path and follow it to a location we'd regularly never be able to access. But soon there's a mech we've never seen before. Unlike the rest, this one pursues us relentlessly, no matter how hard we try to shake it. Watto, why is it following us like this? I quickly shield Saika, taking a direct slash from the red machine's blade. I can feel my body rapidly losing blood. So how was it able to, if it's a red SPX, why can it see them if they don't have blood on them? The fresh cut burns like I've been set on fire. My chest grows heavy as a chill comes over me. Even to my young mind, I recognize that this must be what dying feels like. Sorry, Saika, I couldn't protect you. Why are you saying sorry? I should be the one apologizing. If only I had been as strong as you, this never would have happened. I hear Saika's distraught voice as my consciousness fades. Tears stream down her face as she stares at me. Then the tears suddenly stop. Hey, you can hear me, right? You're watching us, aren't you? I don't care what you do to me. I'll hand myself over to you completely, so please save Watto. I'll even take his place. I'll become the ideal detective. I can distinctly make out Saika's words. Not only that, but her determination. No, she can't do that. No, she can't shoulder everything in my place. That shouldn't be an option here. Make an effort to extend my nearly bloodless hand towards Saika. She takes it in hers, flashes a wide grin, and speaks to me directly. It'll be fine. It's me that we're talking about. I never had anything. My parents abandoned me when I was born. I was cut off from my older brother, too. I didn't think I had a place anywhere. But you alone protected me, Watto, so I've decided to protect you, too. I can't keep talking all kitty-like. I've got to get stronger. Be stronger. From here on, I am ideal detective. Farewell, Watto. When I come to you, the enemy is before me. Well then, it's about time I took off one of those feet. Renegade lifts his knife with a grin. In a flash, I managed to catch his blade with the handcuffs. Wait, you're even faster now? What's the deal? Aren't you supposed to be dying? This is nothing. Rather, I realized I've been holding back until now. Warmth slowly returns to my chilled, anemic body. Now I understand why Holmes, no, Saika, had been so evasive about our pasts. It's only natural. She could just say something like, I was saved because I took your place, or I've been living in your stead ever since. Of course she'd feel driven by guilt. No way she'd be able to share any of that with me. She's been protecting me from the very start. That image of Saika that had been burned into my mind, it was a denouement vision all along. Why didn't I realize it sooner? What's with the soliloquy? Starting to lose it from all the blood loss? Oh, that's right. With his knife still trapped, I ram the tip of my foot into Renegade's unguarded stomach. He gasps from the impact. It's a direct hit. He backs off a little, readying his knife once again, though the expression doesn't change. Sweat gathers at his brow. I'm relieved you're finally fighting with the intent to kill me, aren't you? You really think I'd stoop so low? I refuse to take a life, even from a renegade like you. If he wants to talk about blood loss, let's talk about his right arm. Yes! The fact that they basically said, like, oh, he lost his arm, and then he was fine later that day, I'm like... Wasn't that sweet? You know, I was kind of hoping that the way that we ended up overpowering him was because he doesn't have his other arm, and his decision to set that trap in the last chapter would have resulted in his capture. That would have been cool, right? Like, oh, armor detective didn't die for nothing. Well, he still kind of would have. But still, that would have been better than whatever the fuck this is that we've been reading for the last 25 minutes. This is your final warning. Fight like you want to kill me. You can't escape me until you're ready to take responsibility for the life of another. Renegade contorts his body and swings the knife down toward me. Another non-lethal attack meant to hurt me. The Denuman won't allow me to read it. There's a hole in his offense. I take the cuffs that I'd only been gripping in front of me so far and forcefully swing them backwards. We literally need Severing Chains to come save us. Not gonna block? As he guns for me, I bring the handcuffs down on him. Renegade Detective's knife nicks my shoulder, drawing more blood. At the same time, however, my fist strikes his forehead, flinging him into a nearby bookshelf. Just as planned, if I'd tried to block, there was no way I could have read his movement, but since he wasn't trying to kill me, I didn't need to stop him. Renegade picks himself up shakily, swaying a bit as he stands. A hit clearly dealt some damage. Wasn't expecting that, to think you knew I wasn't going for the kill, so you struck back, even when it meant you'd get sliced too. You and Workaholic are right. Maybe I am too nice. I'm a coward who isn't prepared to take the life of another, but even so, I've been grappling with the idea this whole time. In order to stop someone dangerous, is it truly necessary to kill to end their life? But now I finally found my answer. Even so, I'm ready to put my life on the line to protect all that I can. Renegade Detective, no matter what you do, I swear to put an end to this myself. Otto. From beside me, Saika calls out my name. She can read my mind, so she must realize without me saying anything. I've remembered it all, including the reality that 10 years ago, Saika saved my life by taking the title of Ideal Detective herself. This whole time, I thought I failed to rescue her, but in a way, I had actually sacrificed Saika in order to survive. I feel a tinge of despair at how conveniently I'd twisted my memories. Still, there's no time to wallow. To speak as if trying to convince myself, that's right. What I need to do now is stop the menace in front of me. As the original Ideal Detective, this is my duty. Zetsubo! Turns out half-assed measures won't cut it. Time to do what I was doing before, aiming to kill. Your predictions seem like they take a toll, though. Wonder who'll hold out longer. As declared, Renegade Detective draws near me with his knife. Why have we not shot him with the fucking stun gun? If he's set on using lethal force, I should be able to use the Denuman. Our next exchange might be the deciding factor. For now, I just need to hang in there and trust I'll find the chance to counter him. Left, he's going... Dude, I don't need to say anything, right? I think all 21 of you know okay.
I'm like, yeah.
I don't feel his fate fool me. I don't let his fate fool me, and instead manage a right-hand block with my cup. But the shock of the blow is more than I can handle, forcing one of my knees to the floor. Without pause, Renegade hunches down and slips past my guard. No way he gets an opportunity like this. I haven't had this much fun in a long time, incompetent. Anyway, bye-bye. Knife is thrust straight toward me. My current position, there's no escape. This won't be fended off easily. That's fine by me. With him stabbing directly at me, I know exactly what to do. I mean, we'll die if he stabs at us, right? Attack with Shocky Walkie? I take the friend from my pocket and aim it at Renegade. Wait, that's... The key to manipulating others is to provide a clear-cut objective. Oh, I'm glad we have time to do this while you're literally trying to stab me at close quarters combat! I took to the knee on purpose! In this position, my aim is more stable. But most importantly, it drew my enemy closer of his own accord. Attacking with a knife brought him within 2 meters the range of my weapon. I'm sorry. Was he attacking from outside of a 2-meter range all of the other times?
Hello?
What is this?
Uh-huh. Just as planned.
There you go.
It's
It's over. Stop. Oh, not warning him.
Just as planned.
Okay, this is... Let's just keep going. It has to end soon. Renegade ignores my warnings and lunges forward without hesitation. I pulled it. Upon taking the shot, I hear gunpowder ignite. I do feel like this is the same level of despair I felt during, like, important parts of Inescapable. But this is the first time that this... This is the first time that this game has actually made me feel despair. Yeah, and I mean despair derogatory, not the good despair. Hey, Phil. And no, Process of Elimination is just very sketchy in my mind now. The spikes shoot from the chamber and bore into Renegade's stomach. I'm still not over the knee. His entire body convulses wildly. His tall frame leans, but doesn't fall. He advances erratically, Erratic step after erratic step, grinning as he peers down at me. You actually pulled the trigger. Weren't you worried I'd get electrocuted to death? Okay, that is funny. I need to start Your Turn to Die. Wait, Your Turn to Die is supposed to be good though, Tenkai. Can you confirm? As if a bastard like you would die from a stun gun. I almost voiced the thought, but managed to stop myself. He's lost an arm and a substantial amount of blood. His body just took a huge shock, and yet he's still standing, stubbornly pursuing the ideal detective. Just to cleanse your palate. Yeah, just for comparison purposes, we're agreeing that this game maybe... I'm struck by a feeling when I consider that his life has also been upended by the ideal detective. Not sympathy or kinship, but something else. So, out of earshot, I whisper to him quietly. I'll check your answers for you. I know we can sense death, just as you expected. That's how I knew pulling this trigger wouldn't kill you. Does that work for your final piece or whatever? Ah, so my theory was right. He laughs for a few moments, then lets out a sigh of contentment. He looks deeply satisfied, his crazed expression replaced with utter calm. Thanks, incompetent. I found my missing piece in the best way possible. For once, I get the feeling I'm gonna sleep well tonight. Man lurches forward, toppling to the ground. His talking stopped abruptly, but I can hear him breathing, so he should still be alive. It's over at last. With a heavy exhale, I finally relax my tensed up muscles. Now for that bomb that's on her wrist. You just sleep tight down there. I clench my trembling fists, suck air into my empty lungs, feeling as though I've been brought back from the dead. That part about the handcuffs earlier, it still made absolutely no sense. What did we handcuff him to? He doesn't have 2 wrists. So what did we do? At this point, I don't think we will know. Just like we won't know how we suddenly caught a second wind after being, like, stabbed 10 times. Phil, I know this is your area of expertise, so... One of the 7 mysteries of Hanjo. Compared to Renegade Detective, I'm definitely worse for wear. He had me at every turn. I only won thanks to his carelessness, but otherwise... Yeah, Fables, this is definitely... That was a scene of all time. Also, like you said, an open book test. Not the text box on the bottom of the screen saying, here he comes to the right, and then the game being like, where should you defend? Left? Center? Oh, the right. He definitely would have killed me. Still, I can't help but feel proud of myself. I survived my first ever life or death fight. Incompetent, you were magnificent! Posh. Posh's eyes brim with tears as she scrambles across the room to me. I'm a mess, so you better stay back. There's blood everywhere. Those wounds are badges of honor. The mess won't bother me one bit. Come, let's get you patched up right away. Thankfully, the bleeding's about stopped. They look like they're not as deep as they look. Oh, before that, we need to figure out how to remove that collar thing. No need for that. Aw. Still lying on the floor, Renegade rolls over on his back before continuing. I know how to detonate it, but not how it's actually attached. All I did was wrap it onto her to make it look like the part. It'll come right off if you try. But to be fair, with all my threats earlier, you weren't really in the position to risk it before. Why? Why couldn't it have been real and they just take it off? This actually makes the scene worse. Oh, I know I was just trying to kill you all, but now that you've beaten me, I'll just roll over and tell you that everything wasn't real. For no reason, by the way, for no benefit to me would this have to tell them this information. I will just tell it anyways. I don't know, Nano. Let's look. Oh. Okay. I beg your pardon, though I did find it odd how you wound it around my arm, despite it resembling a tattoo. I wasn't even gonna bring that up. Because Workaholic said it was a tattoo bomb. And then he acted like it was an accessory, but like, I don't fucking know, man. You mean to say you were bluffing all along? Award-winning performance, no? I've always been a talented actor. Despite our battle and the full blast from the stun gun, Renegade hops to his feet, looking totally unconcerned. I take a defensive stance out of reflex, but Renegade Detective raises an empty left palm as if to signify his surrender. Relax, I can move, sure, but I don't have the strength to fight back. Anyway, you've grown way more than I anticipated, Incompetent. You finally remembered just how many lives are your responsibility. I feel so whole. I don't want to do anything else for a good while. I just want to soak this all in. Revolting. You're vile beyond salvation. You mean to say that everything you did was purposefully intended to jog Incompetent's memory? Sure was. I knew your past, Incompetent. I was positive your growth would be explosive if you managed to take responsibility for Ideal's life. Yeah, I was gonna say, I think Workaholic is gonna 100% kill him. Why do you care so much about others bearing the burden for stuff like that? True to his name, Renegade really is a man going against the system. Even so, I can sense how unwavering his convictions are. I can't help but ask him, this person who's caused me so much suffering, how he came to hold such strong beliefs. Renegade Detective, are your principles somehow tied to what you went through on this island? I don't usually talk about myself, but whatever, I'll humor you. Consider it thanks for indulging me earlier. Let me tell you a tale from way back then. My family prized tradition over all, so from day one my individuality was like heresy. Apparently that's why they gave me to the SP, like Holmes's parents. How many times did I go through that maze for their experiments? It was so long ago, my memory's fuzzy. But I remember seeing all those kids die. The cell beds we fought over at first outnumbered us in time. At that point, I was hailed as one of the 5 gifted subjects who could survive any trial. Oh, this man tried to non-lethal me, lethal me, lethal me again. They called me Invincible Detective. During our repeated life-threatening experiments, I realized they wouldn't stop until only one of us was left. So I figured if I die there, all the lives lost would have gone to waste. Basically, even as a sole survivor, I could give their lives meaning. So that's when you escaped. Yep. Not with everyone else, though, sad to say. What a truly dreadful story. So the DA's predecessor, the secret police, was behind everything after all? Having heard Renegade's detective story, Pasha's expression has grown somber. It's easy to sympathize with his experience, and I accept how it would shape his beliefs, but even so. Renegade, I understand where you're coming from now, but you can't push your beliefs on others. Do you really think everyone has to bear responsibility for the lives around them? Here's the thing, even if I'm spitting in the face of God, I won't betray my principles. I'll follow them and make others do the same. You won't accept my beliefs, just as I won't accept your sense of justice. We could do this 1,000 times over and nothing would change. I agree with you there. Repeat your misdeeds 1,000 times if you want. I promise to stop you each and every time. Still so green around the ears. Green, sweet, and all too tender. Like an unripened fruit that'll bruise at the touch. But fine by me. That's what gets me tingling after all. All of my heart, I pray your growth continues, incompetent detective. Neither of us say another word. We're both in silent agreement. The fact of the matter is, he and I will never see eye to eye. Good heavens, are you quite finished with your flim-flam yet? Tie up that scoundrel so we can return to the lobby. Toot sweet. Posh sighs in exasperation, but at the very next moment... What in the world is going on? Calm down, I'm sure the power just went out. I take out my D-pad and toggle on its flashlight. When I point the light forward, I notice that Renegade Detective has disappeared. He should have been standing right in front of me. Renegade Detective is gone. Pardon, how is that possible? I arc the light across the entire room, but no one's here aside from Posh and me. Could it be that he intentionally planned this outage in order to make his escape? He must have fled. Let's go after him. You bumbling oaf! Moving about in this darkness would be horrendously reckless. Come across a trap, and it'll be the pearly gates for us. You mean the pearly gates? Same difference. Now, come here. Stand back to back with me and pay close attention to our surroundings. Gotcha. As directed, I turn my back against Pasha's. We scan the area with our D-pad flashlights. As expected, there's no sign of anyone. We mustn't get careless now, understood? We can give chase once our eyes have adjusted to the darkness. Right, sorry. I contemplate how much growing I still have to do as a detective when suddenly, lights come back on. Check under the table! Of course, there's still no trace of Renegade Detective. We need to pursue him right away, but then... a piercingly shrill tone, a bell sounds off. Swain competent, it appears the emergency alarm has been triggered. Oh, he did. The alarm continues to ring. We're confronted with a shocking sight that makes us convulse with horror. We're Workaholic droops limply, handcuffed to a pipe extending from the fire extinguisher. His entire body is soaked. Countless lacerations cover him like a torture victim. Workaholic? What on earth happened here? He doesn't respond to our cries. Could it be? His chest has been stabbed, but the wounds aren't deep. I'll check for a pulse. Workaholic held his ground against Renegade Detective. There's no way he could die like this. I hurry to take his pulse, however. Competent, stop! It's too dangerous to touch him! Huh? What? Willful sprints toward me, but it's too late. I've already made contact with Workaholic's body. Pain immediately racks me like flames on my skin. What is this? Look! There's a bare electrical wire touching the pipe. Workaholic was electrocuted by the high voltage running through the cuffs. Really? So he's already... We don't know that for sure. The way Incompetent reacted, the current doesn't seem to be all that powerful. We can still save him if it was just a shock. Let's get those cuffs off him quickly. Gourmet takes a fork from her pocket, raises it up high, and slashes the chain connecting the handcuffs to the pipe in one stroke. Now we can touch him. Quick, he needs CPR. Happened. Bookworm and Teki join us. I run to Teki to see if he has anything to help. Teki, we need you. Workaholic is in trouble. Do you have a defibrillator or anything like that? Of course, just a moment. I'll get Zippy Zappy, my life-saving friend. I borrow Teki's tool and put everything I have into getting Workaholic's heart back in rhythm. It shouldn't have been long since he was shocked. We can still make it. There's still time, I'm sure of it. What is it this time? That noise, it's above us, right? Did something happen to the elevator? Asked the girl, referring to what very well may have just occurred. I'd completely forgotten. Didn't Renegade Detective still have the elevator key with him when he escaped? I've been trying to resuscitate him. The rest of you, go inspect the elevator. That appears to be our only option. Come along, Doleful. I'll go with you too, Posh. Teki, Bookworm, can you stay here and help Incompetent? Of course! Incompetent Detective, if you grow tired, let me know and I'll take over. The girl said, lack of faith in her physical strength notwithstanding. Thanks, be careful everyone. Workaholic, if you can hear me, say something, Workaholic. I call to him as I repeatedly administer the AED to his heart. The time passes and his eyes don't stir even once. Workaholic, wake up, I'm begging you. You have a family waiting for you, don't you? Open your eyes, please, Workaholic. Workaholic! It's been over 10 minutes since resuscitation began. We should stop, the girl said remorsefully. Even a doctor would have called it by now. There's nothing more to be done. My legs give out as I sink to the floor. I had finally decided to protect the lives of others to the very best of my ability, but the moment Workaholic gave me a chance to put my words into action, he died. What a bitter, darkly ironic end. Apart from the stab wounds on his chest, his body remains untouched, making it harder to accept as reality. Was he really murdered? Who would do something so awful? We're the only survivors left now, which means there's only one person who could be the culprit, right? That's right, there's no doubt about it. The electrocution caused the alarm, which occurred when the power returned. So Workaholic was killed when the tripped breakers were reset. All of us were with somebody else. That leaves only one candidate who set this up. I don't know if this was Renegade. No, I think there's one other person. I think there's one other person that is a sympathizer with the Quartering Duke, or is the Quartering Duke. and they're the one that did this. Because, like, Renegade shouldn't have been able to kill... Yeah, I think Gourmet too. Gourmet or Doleful, to be honest. Like, Techie and Bookie are like... You still think Doleful's the villain? It could be. But I don't think this was Renegade. I think there's actually going to be something to investigate, which I was going to whine and complain that there was no gameplay aspect this chapter outside of the whatever that was in the library. He planned from the start to escape under the cover of darkness while killing Workaholic at the same time. Would it have been his plan to lure us here? Renegade Detective was waiting for the elevator to be repaired, was he not? Our open book test, yes. So we know Renegade, not Renegade, Gourmet has a knife, so she could have cut wires. Why is there water? Why was he electrocuted? Why was he also slashed up? I can't defend it. Look, you know what, guys? Visual novel nights are here to play through visual novels. The good, the bad, and the inescapable. So, it's fine. It's fine. At the end of the day, this will just be another badge on our belts. Do you even put badges on belts? I don't know. Alright, well, you know what? They could still turn Chapter 5 around at this point. I'm really actually happy that there's a murder for us to investigate. Now, in my opinion, this game would be throwing away a lot of potential if it's just, well, it was Renegade again. Like, that would be very disappointing. I don't think that's it. We need to save Shuji run. Are you telling me to play Digimon Survive again, Tenkai? You evil. Yeah. What Bookworm says makes sense. Even with the key, he couldn't use it while so many of us were camped out in front of the elevator. What if he's using Workaholic's corpse and the alarm to distract us? So we need testimony. Like, basically, we need to know if Gourmet or Doleful separated from the group during the blackout. That explosion could have been Renegade Detective destroying the elevator after he finished using it. Let's get back over there. We gotta find out what's going on. I take the lead as we head over to where the others are waiting in front of the elevator. An unthinkable sight awaits us when we arrive at the... Oh. Happened. Renegade's dead! Oh! Wait! Chapter 5 just got saved, y'all. The elevator is stuck, its door slightly ajar, blood drips from the gap like a tap left running. Against my will, the overwhelming stench of blood forces me to imagine what tragedy could have transpired inside. The elevator was functioning, so I summoned it to our floor, and this is how it appeared. The inner doors will not budge, and everything is covered in blood. If us weren't strong enough to open it, and Compton... Incompetent who's literally sliced and diced. Could you help us out? Yes, of course. We all grab the gates and pull with our combined strength. The metal scrapes along as it gradually shifts. The more the gap widens, the more the blood spills out. It's like I'm opening a portal to hell. I don't want to look, but I can't bring myself to avert my eyes. Once we forcefully pry the gates apart, a swirl of emotion assails me. Get fucked. Honestly, good. Honestly, good. This is interesting, though. You're right, they'd both die at the same time. Well, that is good for the game to do, and here's why. If you find one, then the other didn't. Now, that could actually still be true. Renegade could have... Okay, wait, it could play out like this. Renegade still was able to kill Workaholic, but before he captured and tortured him, Workaholic booby-trapped the elevator so that if Renegade indeed got the key and escaped, it would kill him. I don't know that that's how this went down. It could be. Or Doleful or Gourmet did one of these kills, and the other was like Renegade killed Workaholic, and then Renegade was killed by one of them. But what's interesting about this is killing Renegade. Renegade's on the other team. So that means the Quartering Duke didn't kill him, it was somebody else. I don't know. Also, this means Rosen was right. I don't think Renegade should have been able to do anything. He literally got point blank stun gunned and then stood up. That's what you've been saying? What? Rosen is right. This is the second to last chapter of the game, so Renegade Detective had to die. I don't know why I let my vision be clouded. All of this. Oh, that's what you meant. Okay. A headless... Headless? The bomb! Oh! Oh! It wasn't the elevator that killed him, it was the bomb! Because he had a bomb in his neck. Okay, wait. This is giving backing to my theory about them killing each other. I hope it's not that they killed each other. I wouldn't like that much. I want this to lead to another person being a baddie. Blood flows from the stump of its neck. I know I've seen this body before. That body, those clothes, could it be? Renegade Detective? What? But Renegade killed Workaholic, did he not? So why is Renegade himself dead? Perhaps it's a decoy. We should thoroughly inspect the body. Stay back, Pilgrim. We'll take a look. Cautiously approach what appears to be Renegade Detective's remains and investigate. I haven't seen a decapitated body in a long time. Nauseating, isn't it? There wasn't a lot of time in between now and us losing sight of him. Cut his head off, and how? Exactly, Nano. It's like, who's this person wearing Renegade's clothes that also has one arm? The collar workaholic mentioned must have gone off. This is also horrible. So, what we heard a minute ago was the collar detonating, but what caused it? I refuse to believe that Renegade Detective could die so easily, the girl said, sharing her candid opinion while covering both eyes and with her hands. Garrett Wallace. It's also possible that the Quartering Duke is waiting on the floor above, and he saw Renegade come through the elevator and then ignited the collar. That's another thing that could happen. Yeah, I feel the same way. It looks like Renegade we know so well, but without any head on his corpse, we can't really tell if it's him. Knowing him, it doesn't seem impossible that he's still hiding somewhere, alive and well. And then there are further mysteries atop all this. We hear a tremendous boom from above us. It feels closer than the last one, if the shaking floor is any indication. If the first explosion was the collar, then what's the second one? There are too many peculiarities about all this, don't you think? Absolutely. Renegade was the only one with an elevator key, so no one other than him could have called for it. But Renegade was killed on an upper level, so maybe it makes sense to assume someone besides us was on the surface. Someone besides us? But who? They were in the research facility above ground the whole time, waiting for him to arrive? That's what I just said. If that's the case, who could have murdered Workaholic? To say somebody was biding their time up there presents a clear contradiction. Two of them were simultaneously killed on separate levels, but the conditions for each murder conflict with the other. But if it's still somehow Armor, I would flip the fuck out. Armor got, like, impaled, though. If we were to name this case, then the case of the Paradox killings would be apt, said the girl, sharing her thoughts. Paradox killings. Everyone apart from Pasha and myself was in the lobby. It's an obvious fact that none of us could have killed Workaholic. Renegade Detective's the only one who had the opportunity to kill him, but he was killed too. Could there be someone else on this floor, or is there someone like me, with superhuman abilities to defy these contradictions? Okay, wait a minute. I'm gonna play the devil's advocate, Nano. Ideal disappeared for the better part of an entire day in our head. What was she doing? Torturing Workaholic, perhaps? I am starting to feel like Ideal is a projection inserted into our mind somehow. And the person... What if the real Ideal is the Quartering Duke, and she's on the floor above, and she has the ability to put her projection inside Wato's brain and has been feeding him information the entire game to lead them along this path. What if she was put into others' minds? She did say not to. True. That would be such a gag if she's in everyone's head. But, okay, riddle me this. Why would she disappear? She was doing something during the time that she was away. Also, in the first... Is this why Mystic Detective had to die first? I have so many thoughts racing through my head right now. Mystic Detective was open to the idea of seeing ghosts, and maybe she knew that she would get caught if he was left alive. Because when we told him we could see her, he said, "I believe you." Oh god, okay. I feel like we need to confide in Bookie. And just be like, I can see dead Saika. And if Bookie's like, same, then we'll know that we'll be on to her. Holmes, what do I do? I ask Holmes, but I don't see her. She hasn't appeared at all since I remember my past. Does that have something to do with why I haven't seen her since yesterday? Or is she choosing not to appear to me? I don't understand what's going on at all. There's no time to wait. We won't be able to escape this island if we don't unpack this mystery. We're so close to escaping. Our only choice is to solve this case, no matter what it takes. Wait. Is that saying that now... Is that chapter 5 or chapter 6? There's 2 chapter 5s? Yeah, we haven't had a case. It was all just the fighting. Okay, interesting. Do you think you can reach headquarters? No, nothing's changed. The comms network is just as unstable as it was when we first arrived on the island. Still, it's already been a week since we lost contact. Assuming they've noticed something's off, help should arrive soon. There's no way we'll miss a rescue team as long as we're on the surface. Guess our best option is to sit tight and wait for now. Come to think of it, this lobby looks exactly like the one underground. Wait, did they go up the elevator? Huh? The elevator has no button for going down below, and you can't get there without that special key. It was clearly meant to be kept secret. Maybe it's designed like this so that even if pictures leaked, they could explain it away. It's likely that they were members in the research facility who, like me, didn't know about the underground sector. So even within the organization, they really didn't want anyone knowing, huh? We all have a look around, and while there are traces of an explosion, there isn't anything too unusual. That is, apart from one thing in particular. Competent, I found Renegade Detective's head. Oh, this is horrible. It's overwhelmingly graphic, but by no means can we let Worm's photographic memories see it. We keep watch, ensuring the rest don't notice. Doleful found the head. What's interesting though, if a bomb collar blew up, your head would, like, not be identifiable. So does that mean that he actually got decapitated? The area where the collar was implanted is scorched, confirming the noise we had heard before was in fact the collar detonating. Oh. So the cause of death really was the collar exploding. Okay, never mind. Hang on, Gourmet said he was caught between the elevator and the floor, and died from shock, as it tore his head off. There was a gap in between the elevator doors, remember? Judging by the scorching marks on them, it was forcefully made by an exploding collar. And then the elevator started moving with his head stuck in the gap, which, you know, which tore it off. It's hard to imagine anyone doing something so sickening. The plan must have taken into account how old the elevator is, not to mention its lax security measures. Whatever the case, it's horrifying. I'm just saying Gourmet stayed by the elevator with Bookie Detective earlier. Just saying. Wait, there are burn marks on his neck, but that doesn't make sense if he was killed by the explosion. It must have been the second explosion. Renegade Detective took a number of reverse collars with him, right? He probably used one of them to blast the elevator doors open. So maybe the second was the one on his neck going off. So the collar on his neck detonated after his head was already torn off. He may have had it coming, but it's hard to not feel for him. Yeah, it's hard to believe someone could think up a murder like this. The Quartering Duke's far crueler than we thought. So the culprit detonated a reserve collar to force the elevator open, and then stuck Renegade's head in between the doors and escaped. When the elevator moved, it tore off Renegade Detective's head, which rolled to the ground with its collar going off shortly after that. I go through all that effort. I can't make any sense of it. Why jump through all these hoops to kill Renegade Detective? With the elevator specifically. It'd be way quicker and less risky to do away with him by hand. There's also this, which I'm guessing was made to mock us. It was attached to the elevator's operating panel. Oval takes a piece of notepad paper from his pocket. Scribbled upon it are the words, "Warning, this button may cause death." It really did mean death for Renegade Detective. Yeah, maybe Renegade Detective knew he was about to die and jotted this down as a joke. I was so tense when I pressed that button. This is nothing to laugh at, though. Then again, trying to interject humor into such a morbid situation would be very like him. Yeah, fucking right. We finished examining his corpse and returned below ground. I found spare collars in his pocket, probably the same model that was implanted on him. Workaholic mentioned it before, but these devices can be remotely detonated via a transmitter such as a D-pad. How can it be done on a D-pad? All you'd have to do is use the messaging function to send a keyword to the target. To keep things simple, let's call this keyword a command. I've analyzed the internal data and confirmed that detonation requires a command from 3 or more devices. Meaning 3 or more D-pads. So basically, 3 or more detectives would have had to send those messages to Renegade Detective. Workaholic said that he needed my help with the detonation, so he planned to have me, himself, and an unknown third party use our D-pads to trigger it. I'm getting so suspicious of Ideal. By the way, there's also a security function that causes it to self-destruct when the back is pried open, preventing you from seeing any internal data. This is straight out of a spy movie. Couldn't that be used to trigger an explosion? It'd go off in under 10 seconds, and you can't open the back when it's attached, so it's hard to utilize systematically. At best, it could be a small bomb. So you could use one to bust open the elevator doors, but anything else beyond that would be a lot of extra trouble. Did the culprit sever Renegade Detective's collar, remove it, and then detonate it? No, that'd take too much time and leave even more evidence. It makes sense for it to be detonated the standard way, remotely. Can you tell which devices were used to do this? Unfortunately not. The detonated collar was blown to smithereens, so there's no way to check. What if they use the D-pads of those who've already died? Oh! The girl asked, presenting a third possibility. That could be a workaround, yes, but then again, they would each require fingerprint recognition. I was about to say that, Nano! Armor kept... Oh, God, he was collecting fingers and D-pads. Yeah! The copium is back. Oh God. Armor was collecting fingers. I'm actually so invested again. This game hit its lowest low for me earlier on today's stream, and now I'm like really into the mystery now. The rating is saved, but goddamn was that scene in the library painful. That's a thought, though, Nano. That means Armor went back and cut off the hand of your girl. Why not just cut off a finger from a corpse and take it with you, the girl replied. Bookworm is so smart. Gracious, what a dangerous mind you have lingering behind that sweet face. Well, it is a possibility. One could easily carry around a severed finger or two. If the culprit is the quartering duke, it's definitely not out of the question for him. Wait. And wait a minute, didn't the quartering duke reveal that she's female? Oh, this is almost a wrap. Yeah. Wait, the ideal in the armor theory. Oh, it's coming back. It has to be. Oh, okay. Oh wait, Workaholic and Renegade mentioned an alternative method of triggering the detonation, right? Maybe the culprit used that instead. Good point. There's something we'll need to look into. Thanks for bringing it up. Also, we finished Workaholic's post-mortem report. The cause of death is cardiopulmonary arrest due to prolonged electrocution. The stab wounds on his chest imply that he fought someone, but they don't seem to have anything to do with how he actually died. This is juicy! Also, there's nothing off about the shutter. The underground research facility was totally cut off from the outside ever since we arrived. So that means the culprit is here somewhere. But we've all been moving about together, so our alibis line up perfectly. Ideal can't be in your mind if she acts. Yeah. Which is terrifying because that means that she's acting right now. Just for funsies also, wasn't there a detail in the script when Armor plunged down the hole in the ground? It said that he never heard, like, he didn't hear him hit the ground. Because it's fucking ideal. It's ideal. There's no way this isn't ideal. Damn! The real Armor has been dead the whole game. I stand by that. And you know what? I'm actually gonna go out on a limb and say I fully trust Doleful now. Okay. We've all been moving about together, so our alibis line up perfectly. I am again reminded of Bookworm's remark about these killings being paradoxical. Both of them died at virtually the same time, one above ground and one below. If we fail to address that, then we won't solve this case. Everyone's gaze instinctively turned towards me. I get it, it's becoming something of a pattern for an investigation to only really get going after I give the word. I can do this. I have to. I speak aloud, trying to encourage myself. Ideal Detective isn't here, making this my first time taking charge all on my own. I'm nervous, but it's something I must do. Alright, everyone. We could just head to the surface and call for help, leaving all this behind. But we're detectives. Whenever a case presents itself, our only option is to investigate it. A tragedy has occurred right before our eyes. It's up to us to reverse it. Everything about these two deaths is bizarre. Our investigation begins as we strive to detangle this mystery. Alright. You guys are gonna hate me. You guys are absolutely going to hate me. But 9:30 was kind of my cutoff point for tonight's stream. So we're gonna have to save this. We're literally gonna be sitting on a massive cliffhanger. If I beat Ayuden early on Tuesday's stream, I will do Process of Elimination for the rest of stream. So... yeah, I have to make a save here. Can I not? Damn! I'm gonna have to speed through the dialogue when we come back, because it won't let me save. That's shitty. Why? Interesting. Alright, anyways guys, I do have to get going. I will see you guys this week briefly. Keep in mind, next weekend, I'm gonna be at Climax of Night. So, I will be traveling. Streams are gonna be scarce this week. So just stay tuned, stay with me. I will be back here on Tuesday at the very least, but we'll see about the rest of the week. Anyways, take care guys. See you in a bit.